Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Rafael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Dr. Esther, thank you so much for joining me on New Tip Daily. How are you today?
I'm doing really good. It's Friday.
It is Friday. Yes, it is. Friday, and well, for me, every day is a beautiful day because I get to wake up and feel my fingers and move my toes and so forth. But you have some incredible tips with us, and I'd love to hear.
Yeah, so today's tip, I want to encourage everyone today to do a visualization exercise.
Ooh,
And
I like
why this is a tip, you might ask? Because it puts us in a place of thinking about away from metrics
Mm,
and really thinking about what we want to feel in the future rather than what we want to do.
mm,
Okay, so my tip for today is to everyone to close their eyes and really visualize themselves 5 years from now. Where are they? Who are they with? What are they eating? What do
mm.
they see? What kind of impact they're having in the world? And just have like one big scene in their mind. And what is that word and that feeling that comes to life from that?
Wow, I
And
see.
once,
Amazing.
oh, yeah, tell me what you see.
Um, I actually see that we've truly, because of technology, we've truly advanced so much that I see a lot of hovercrafts, a lot of us up there, like the Jetsons. Think of the Jetsons. I want to be able to press a button and have my food ready, but I don't want it to be processed. I want delicious food, things that are going to be nutritional for me, are going to be helpful, but it's going to allow me to be able to do so much more. And I just see it so easy for me to get from place A to place B that it just gives me that much more time.
Nice. So would you say that you feel more like that you have more reach?
Oh
That
yeah.
you have
Oh,
more
yeah.
okay, nice. Yeah, so I that's the what I want to leave with everyone today is like have that feeling, that word, whatever that is, and then what are three small actions you can take today? I mean, in your case, the technology is happening on its own, but
Yes.
what are three small actions you can take today to get that feeling? Get that feeling that you feel in that moment when you're sitting there. No, it could be a lot of things. Like I was actually looking back on my notebook from like even 5 years ago,
Mm,
and I had written like a whole scene, and I realized that I basically live in that scene now. It
mm,
was being able to have that wake up, have my own schedule, be able to have lots of impact, have community. And so in my image, I'm surrounded by, community and a circle and feeling like really free and lifted and free of anxiety. And when I opened that, I was like, wow, that's exactly what I have today, right? So that's what to aim for that feeling, whatever you visualize. So if yours is reach, right? It's what are three things that
yeah.
you could do, small things that will help you get there in 5 years.
Okay. So for me, reach is how do I reach more people? Well, one is I'm doing it, right? And I visualized this years ago. How do I communicate with more people, connect with more people, but even reach people that I will never meet in my life, but impact them in a positive way? And that's what podcasting has allowed me to do. Public speaking allows me to do that because there's people who may be present who've never heard my story or who never knew that little thing that they can do different with their lives because of what I said, right? And then connecting with people on a deeper level because now we're in person. So I've dreamt of doing all that. And like yourself, when you consider your dreams, they're nothing but dreams unless you put actions behind them to actualize them. And I think that you and I are both on the same wavelength here.
100%. And it's the focus on that feelings to the metrics, right? Because there's so many times when it could get really confusing when you do this type of exercise, and then people are like, "Oh, I wanna have $1,000,000. I wanna be in a yacht. I wanna be there." And it's like, okay, that's not a feeling, right?
Mm,
That's a metric. Like if we just slice the moment in time, what are you doing? What are you feeling? And then what do you need to create to have more of that feeling rather than the metric? Because those can change. So many things can happen,
right.
and we know this, right? It's not like money doesn't equate
Mm,
to happiness, right? It's about that feeling and that impact you're creating every day. So I think this type of visualization exercise helps people really get into that moment and space and feeling.
mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful tip. And when you consider, no matter where you are in your life, and I love the tip that you gave, because sometimes, we may not be exactly where we want to be, but man, nobody can tell you you can't dream. You can't imagine a future where you're no longer in this position or in this situation or in this job or in this financial burden. But you can imagine yourself not saying, hey, I'm living in this palace. No, but that you don't have the struggles that you're going through right now. And a lot of people think that, oh, no, I got to dream big. Yes, you do. But you also have to have the little dreams to get to the big dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone has a different timeline, right? I mean, I think if people have a little bit more time today, you can do 5, 10, 15, 20 years
Mm,
and see, right? Visualize all of those in sequence. And what's the difference? What's the change? And no, there is no like replica, clone dream. Everyone's dreams are different.
mhm,
Scale is different, feeling is different, impact is different. There's no right or wrong, and there's no timeline. Everyone has their own path. And so I think having that time to reflect, what's the different what would more time give
mm,
you? What is a different feeling time would give you? Or is it just more that it give you more access? Whatever that is, right? But like differentiate because we always like we're very short term, right? We think we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, and then if we don't do it, we're like, "Oh, forget it. Our dream was impossible." But we underestimate we can do in 5. If
mm,
you go back 5 years ago, I'm sure your life was totally different than what it is now, right? And there's still a lot of changes happened, a lot of things. And so if you really think back, it is 5 years you can advance a lot to a feeling. It
mm,
gets so much closer. And maybe it'll take you 10, 15, maybe to have the impact you want. But it's good to differentiate. What is that?
mm,
And then also think about all those steps along the way because if it's cloudy, that tells you something, right? Like, wait, why can't I visualize? Why can't I only think about metrics? And
mm,
then it's like, wait, let's dig into that because if it's only about metrics and not feeling, what does that tell you? And has metrics in the past really led to fulfillment? It's a good exercise to question yourself
mhm.
and really about what you're trying to build and reason why.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that the whole world went through a pause when we had COVID, because no matter what your dreams were, they stop, think about it. And I think it was, and as terrible as it was, because we did lose a lot of people and things changed, but it definitely caused a pause for everyone because the whole world stopped. It wasn't just your neighborhood, it was the entire world. And it was maybe a calling for us to really to start to think what really matters. What are those things that truly affect your life? And I love the fact that you're having us think, and you had me think. I even closed my eyes and I was picturing things. And it was beautiful because we should do that every day, and obviously with gratitude and being grateful for the little things that we do have, but then thinking of, yes, maybe I can drink water out of this today, but will I have water to drink in 5 years? So what do we need to do to make sure that we sustain that? How do we help? How do we keep our future alive? Man, you give me so much to think about.
Yeah. And then it's also getting people closer to that exercise, right? Like in my workbook, I start the exercise and people are like, whoa, why is the first exercise my obituary? But it's because that first exercise gets you closer into realizing that in your when you pass away and in your obituary, no one's talking about your metrics, all the
Mm,
awards you won or the money you make or your title. People are talking about how you made them feel and the impact you had on them. And so that feeling and that impact is really relevant but at the end of your life, right? And so we have to put ourselves in that state of mind and in those visualizations because that in the end is what you're creating. And that's where you have to shift for your mind. Is everything that we're being taught to value, is that really what's valued? No, right? And so how do we create that alignment with us that we're still creating that impact and that future we want, but also leaving that feeling that we want to leave behind?
yeah, yeah. So up on the screen, we have a website that you can go to, and I think this is the website where you can get your book, right?
Yeah, so I have a book, Creating Your Limitless Life, but I also have a workbook
Mm,
that's accompanied to it that actually just got number one last week on Amazon, which I was super
that's
excited about. Yeah, and that's something also that I think it kind of relevant. It's kind of relevant to this tip because in my mind, I saw my impact as giving people the tools to discover their purpose, a world where everyone knows it and can live it freely.
mm.
And I remember going to my publisher and they're like, well, workbooks are not really common. But I was like, but that's part of my feeling and my intuition that I think this is because that's really tied to my alignment and my how to. So that's the link to the workbook. If you have Kindle, it's 99 cents because for me, it's about impact, it's about accessibility. I want you to have that information. So if you like this tip and you like this exercise, grab the workbook, download it on your Kindle, do more of these, right? And really create that feeling and alignment that you want in your life.
Wow. Dr. X, I got to tell you, when you gave that tip, it wasn't just a tip, it was an impactful tip. Anybody who doesn't know Dr. Esther, she is, you have so many folds to you. You're like not a little onion, you're a huge onion. So many layers to you. And you definitely, just that one tip, let's just focus on even 5 years, on what your life can look like. Not only but your life, the impact that your life has, and the impact even of your actions today. How will they impact the future of even your neighbors, your clients, somebody you haven't even met yet, right? Because who will you know 5 years from now? You don't know. That's so intriguing and it's so amazing. It's because I'm constantly meeting people and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine how many more people I will have that I can reach out and say, hey, let's have a chat. Let's have a coffee. And those are the things that I look forward to. So thank you. Amazing, amazing tip.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, yeah. So, by the way, Dr. S is coming back on Heroes Rising at 1 o'clock today, 1 o'clock Eastern. Come and join us. Man, she always over delivers. And thank you. Thank you for doing so. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And thanks for all the listeners. Thank you.
All right, everybody, have yourself an amazing and blessed day, and we'll see you later. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.